Let's do this. Game.
Right.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Number 6. We are waiting indeed for Aizamk to green up. He too may need to go and get food and drink in the same way that we are. Aizamk, we're not sure. He may be a robot, he may be a person, or he may be a cow, or a mixture of all three. We're not actually sure. That's Age of Empires.
I mean, no one's ever seen him in person, you know? He could just be a server sitting on a rack somewhere. We have no idea.
He's more likely to be a cow. I think it's... anyway, we're about to green up here. Hashtag cowhacks, YOLO swag, Aizamk build. Let's go. Dutch Mirror. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Indeed, to Saturday Smackdown for the week 25th of October 2000. Is it October 25th? Yes, I think so. Indeed, game number 6 in this series. The score is currently 3 to Aizamk and 2 to Mitoe. We will begin with Aizamk, who is in the south of the map. The map is New England. Here it is. Here he is. Here he is. Okay, yes, lots of coin. That is, well, aside from that random food crate, I think an all coin start plus 1 wood. Is that possible? Yeah, I think it's possible. That's the best for Dutch, but obviously Dutch start with more coin than normal. I don't know why that surprised myself there. I thought that was more than you would normally get though as Dutch, and of course your settlers cost coin, which is what you want. You're gonna say?
I was gonna say that this is like the equivalent of French starting with a single coin crate and a wood crate as well.
I see.
Like
yeah, all coin is better. Dutch settlers cost coin. He's gonna have to collect. The coin is a slower gathering resource. He's going to have to collect that for his villager. Picking up the 90 food treasure, though. What a pro. 50 coin in the back of his base there. I'm sure he'll go get that when he notices it. But indeed, in the north of the map, in the color teal, we'll have had the exact same crate starts. That's the way this game works. Here we have, indeed, Mitoe going for a 60 wood treasure. There it is. What do you think of the Dutch mirror? We've seen lots of mirrors.
So the last time, well, actually the last time these two guys played, they played that Dutch mirror on Siberia, if you'll recall. And A's did that like weird TP build that like I immediately dismissed and said like this is so bad. Like, and then he like proceeded to like have an insane score and like actually like make it look easy and just like steamroll. That's not going to be a possibility on this particular map just because of the crate spawn. And so I think we're likely to see something more standard. Of course, A's, could do something really weird, like send 3 Hussars as first shipment or something. Like, I don't know, like, just pick a random shipment in H2 and base a strategy around it. Like, sometimes that's how it feels like he plays, but it oftentimes
The
works,
last time we saw a Dutch mirror between these two players, it was on Siberia, and Aizamk did a pike rush. I will point out Siberia, where you begin with a tower and it is just less viable because of that, and already not very good because, well, rushing with Dutch compared to their Fortress Age plays is trash. But he pulled it off and he won the game fairly convincingly. I think ultimately we decided that Mitoe starting cavalry instead of something, instead of starting with a barracks, he started with a stable, and that was perhaps why it was a bit more difficult than it should have been. But it worked. Aizamk pulled it off. He's good at that kind of thing. Will we see something like that? What do you think?
But that's the thing. Dutch should start cavalry in this matchup.
Yeah.
Like, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find any top-level player who thinks otherwise. I think most top-level players in standard meta dictates that cavalry is probably an optimal start in a Dutch mirror. And I still think as long as you control your cavalry well and use your Minutemen effectively, I think that's still the case.
Yeah.
But I think, A's just got a good timing in, and Mitoe got, a bit carried away with where his first cav went and, just wasn't quite ready for it.
Game,
Also, he did have the trading post in that game, which, allowed him to ship those 8 pike really, really early and follow it up with a really quick 700 wood. Those both aren't going to be the case here.
Yeah.
So I'd be much more surprised with some sort of like forward racks aggressive play out of A's. I think we're likely to see mirroring stable builds of some sort to some degree, and then we'll have to see whether or not A's decides to differentiate with something like an 8 pike shipment or something around card 3 or 4. But I don't think we'll see anything as crazy as we did in that particular game.
Both players picking up fairly even treasures in terms of actual resources. Mitoe does find a settler though, and that does give him an absolutely disgusting advantage at this point. Well, it's not that big, I guess, but it's certainly very good. I mean, a villager collects, I believe, 100 food over 2 minutes, I think.
Oh man, here we go.
So that,
there we go.
The forward villager, it's happening, guys. Here it comes.
Yeah.
Well, he's certainly not using that to herd because they are going in the wrong direction.
The envoy should see it though here, which is going to be beneficial to Mitoe.
Indeed.
I wonder if he's still remembering that game and remembering the start that A's did, and
there it is.
Considering, he sees the barracks. Like, I guess he's going to start barracks himself here. I think we'll see him do that. I don't know that starting barracks is necessary or is even optimal, but I think he'll do it just
to be on the safe side.
Just to be on the safe side, and as an homage to what he lost to previously. Yeah, and there's the barracks.
Yeah, he you know, put it in perspective. The last time he played this, he did get pike rushed. He lost. Obviously, you started stable, like you said. That's normally what you would do as in a Dutch mirror. I think Aizamk uses that knowledge to his advantage. You know, obviously he knows what players normally do and just builds around it. Not always the best. Well, anyway, the point is, yeah, he's probably going to start with the barracks, as you're saying. We'll see what he does. Let's see what he gets. But barracks definitely going to be a lot safer, especially with that memory, and especially since he can see this barracks from A is going to play fairly aggressive.
And A's like realizing that his opponent scouted it and is likely going to have that same recollection that we are, and as a result, queuing up skirmishers and not pikes this game. So that's certainly to his advantage as well. And at the same time, he has built a trading post as well. So I mean, the trade-off here now. A's does have, you know, these trading posts going up, but Mitoe has the extra bank. And I don't know, I like the extra bank with Dutch right here for the time being, but Mitoe's going to have to be able to do something with that. Perhaps sending, you know, his 700 wood as his next card, getting out some Hussar into the mix, and then maybe following up with an 8 shipment and pushing out across the map to really punish A's before, you know, before his economy can really get into full swing.
This is, yes. Do you think though the two trading posts, does this make him stronger in the early portion of the game, or perhaps make him stronger with regards to being aggressive? What is the merit behind this, and perhaps why has he selected that over a bank?
It does give him like so I mean, a lot of things that Dutch lack is they lack the ability to easily integrate like different units into their composition. It's hard for them to get like a full unit mix. Like a lot of civs can just get away with like kind of just making muskets because, you know, they're kind of safe and they just kind of fill all roles, you know, to an extent. And which allows them to like be a really good starting unit. Dutch doesn't really have that option. Obviously, they can't make muskets. You have to make really all 3 units to really make your composition worthwhile. And fortunately for Dutch, they do have shipments, both of 3 Hussar and 8 pike, meaning that if you open with a very early aggressive Rex and you have that extra XP, you can effectively, you know, ship 8 pike or 3 Hussar and be in a position where you can, you know, have your composition be slightly stronger just as a result of having that XP. So I think that's like what we're probably going to see. I think we're probably going to see a 3 Hussar
These units walking past each other, essentially.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see like a 3 Hussar shipment.
Yeah, that would be really useful. It's definitely going to be very strong against the... oh god, sorry.
Interjection has died on us again. I do want to point out that we do have a couple skirmishers here working away on the right-hand side. They are going to be able to pick off at least 1 villager. Maybe a second. Yeah, he's going to get 2. That was a really clever play.
That was really nice. I like that. Like, he knew that villager, the one really far away from the town center, there was absolutely... He was going to get that, full stop, end of story. So he uses the time, or the range of the skirmishes to shoot a different villager that, you know, he may be able to kill, may not be able to kill, and actually gets that kill. So he secures an extra kill underneath the one he already had. That was really clever, really nice.
At the same time, though, he is losing his barracks here in this forward.
Yeah, he's like... Is it worth it, perhaps, though? Well,
he's down a bank
not really,
as well. I mean, if he loses this forward location, he's, you know, his trading posts all of a sudden become that less or that much more exposed just because he doesn't have, you know, the middle of the map. And although Mitoe is losing villagers back at home,
and villager gather time as well, that barracks is going to become idle. There's no resources being pumped. Well, having said that. Whoa, have you seen the amount? What, Aizamk getting ready to age up?
Yeah, A's is about ready to age up. Both players trying to age at this point. Mitoe's just been...
he's lacking the food.
He's been unfortunate in his gathering in the past minute or 2 here with the skirmishers poking. He has you know, even up the infrastructure, he is still up one bank, and he is going to be able to be kind of annoying with these skirmishers in the transitionary period as well.
Yeah, this is true.
I don't know if that's enough to really
Yes.
make a difference, though, to be perfectly honest. Like, skirmishers aren't, like, a huge siege threat. It's not like he's got, like, 10 pikes, right, that he can just, like, go and start sieging houses. Obviously, if you could siege houses down and make him, you know, use his 600 wood shipment into something less ideal, that would probably be better. But what he's doing right now is probably for the best. He is picking off a few villagers and
managing to pick up the kills. Yeah, this settler count actually quite even for both players, both being very successful in their raiding. Or perhaps not so successful in their pulling off the villagers. Anyway, Aizamk at this point in the game, he's a bank down, right? He does, however, have 2 trading posts, which don't count for nothing. I do think a bank is having the 4 banks would be really good for him, and that is exactly what Mitoe has, a stronger economy because of this. But Aiz is now up. He is up a bit faster. He's going to have like 30 seconds extra. Or being in the fortress age sooner to lever some sort of advantage. You know, his shipments are going to arrive sooner, that first shipment. And of course, it's going to be good.
And he's going to have more shipments, because as you mentioned as well, he does have the 2 trading posts. So he is going to be able to, like, ship 8 skirm, 7 skirm, 9 rider, stuff like that. Not only is he going to have the availability to ship it earlier, but he's going to be able to ship it more often as well. So there are some nice little advantages that Aiz has as well. But he's a little bit behind in Eco, just because Mitoe has had all 4 of those banks up and running for a significantly longer time.
This is true, and it's going to become more apparent as the game goes on. That economy, especially if Aiz does not add in that extra.
He has that. I
think he has.
He's up to
It's yeah. Oh, how long has that been down?
It just came up like 20 seconds. Okay. Not very long.
Yeah. But, you know, you can see Mitoe's score lead. He was 7 points higher. He was at 130. I believe he has queued lots of stuff. And obviously that score will not come back until this stuff has appeared. There it is.
3 boats in the pond.
Lots of Reuters. 3 floits. I like this. Floit's really strong. I'm not sure what the floits are going to do here other than provide a lot of defense. And
do you think Mitoe does Mitoe have? Yeah, okay, he does have.
Not offense, rather.
He does have 3 floits in his deck as well. I was curious as to what.
Well, I hope so. If he doesn't, that's going to be an issue. Like, I'm taking a look at his deck. He does have the floits.
I don't run it in my
floits.
Like,
do you not?
Yeah.
Well, floits are just so good. They, like, 3 floits will absolutely annihilate a frigate. As you know, if you compare a frigate to 3 floit shipment, because I think floits just generally are. So they are Caravel equivalent, right?
Basically, yeah.
Or are they just an extra?
They're slightly stronger than the Caravels. Mitoe's home city flag just went in the pond here. Have to assume he's shipping floats of his own.
But this secures him quite a lot of map, actually. These boats, actually, to be fair, they might be out of range of those hunts. I'm not quite sure, but it's essentially cuts off like Mitoe's map, and he has no food other than the berries. And that's an issue.
And it's going to come down to
any moment now.
Being the second player to ship your boats in the pond gives you the advantage that, like, you know exactly when they're going to spawn, so you're going to be able to, like, react immediately. And if he gets off the first volleys on that exposed point on the bottom side, could be really, really good for him. At the same time as well, like, Mitoe.
I am a little bit concerned though about that water flag placement, because do you know how many boats Rhizon has stolen from us when they get really close to the edge? Do you think he'll get all 3 of his boats, or maybe just 2?
I think he'll be fine.
Do you think he'll get 3 right? Oh no, he gets 2 boats! Rhizon done it again, taking a boat there. This is really not too good for him. He's going to lose this encounter here. That is an entire shipment, though he does of course get to play quite responsibly, reactively. I don't know, I'm trying to use the words I used earlier, but actually going to take down... Yeah, going to take down one of those boats, but I think ultimately Aizamk just having more units there is really good for him. Though having said that, look at these blue skirmishers being caught out of position just by hundreds of Mitoe's units.
Mitoe's got a fairly significant land army advantage here. He almost has an outpost up as well. If you can get that outpost finished up, he should be able to stabilize just fine here.
So what exactly happened there with those boats? Was there just not enough room for it to spawn because of the Aizamk ship?
Rhizon has got a really big collection of caravels back at home. We think, at least, anyway. Yeah, it was too close to the edge of the thing, and it didn't spawn. There wasn't enough room for it to spawn.
Interesting. Which is...
You have to...
It's part of the hazard. It's part of why I hate putting boats in a pond. Like, There is that hazard. Like this, I don't think when the developers made this map, they were anticipating that this would be how this map would play. That, like, this would be such an integral part to this map. Like, the fact that you can ship boats into these little ponds, and, like, you can see, like, how strong, like...
In Age of Empires 3, boats are really, really good against land units. And... like, there, you can see here, like, this pond is surrounded by land, where land units usually occur. That fort is up there.
Yeah, the fort is up. Mito's got a really scary land army. He might just be able to sprint past the fort and go right for the economy.
This is true. You know, those skirmishers getting caught out of position earlier. And actually, being a boat down still manages to even up that trade. I guess there was quite a lot of land presence. And, of course, that outpost there that has a really strong anti-ship damage. And questionably a fort coming out of Aizamk. Also, questionably the Swiss Pike signature move from him again. Those cavalry are going to be rendered useless right there. But the fort is not military units, and I think I might like to see that from him. But Ace has a very interesting way of playing, and I definitely think that he is not out of this yet. Certainly, he is ahead in economy.
Yeah, and I think he's just gonna slowly lose the map though, and eventually just run out of places to gather coin and stuff from.
Aizamk.
To be fair, they're absolutely right. Neither player has really been spending their resources that efficiently. But that tends to happen in these like weird, wild games. So
it's like,
I guess that's going to be expected.
If you're following a build order, right? You're like, this is what I spend this on. This is where I buy this unit. This is when I do that. And then once you've gotten past that initial stage, you then start playing what I call Age of Empires 3, where you're no longer going directly off a build order. You're actually playing of your own accord. But yeah, I think A's being a bit more spontaneous with the 2 trading posts and doing things slightly differently in the early portion of the game. Perhaps, I mean, it's probably not to the hugest extent, but perhaps not having that build does mean that you are not entirely convinced to what you're going to be spending your resources on. Massive raid.
Big raid here. It's going to... and I think this is eventually what's going to happen. Ace is just not going to have a gold mine to gather from. And the army differential, despite the fact that he's got that fort in a fairly annoying place for Mito to push through, I think eventually he's just going to be able to move towards this north side of the map and be like, you know what? You're not going to have any hunter gold to gather for the rest of the game. I'm just going to stand up here on top of this gold mine. And eventually, I don't think there's not going to be that much that Ace can do to be able to dispatch the army and just keep up. And eventually, it's just going to fall further and further behind, and it's going to be really tough for him to win.
Do you think that he's seen his hunt? Do you think he's seen it? If not, he doesn't have any food, right? And
probably not.
Then Aizamk, in a good position. He's got you know, a coin mine still. He does have all of his banks up, right? He's got more villages than Mito, and he has access to food.
I do always wonder how A's makes up these score differentials. Like, it seems like he's always so far behind in score, and then like you look away for a minute or two, and like he's caught back up, and like he could catch all of these villagers here. Like, there are some really exposed villas right now.
Whoa, that's really not good. Look at all of these villagers going to go down, and going to just make that settler difference so much bigger.
Yeah, are we going to have another base race?
Oh my! Do you think these players are a bit tired after playing so many in a row? I must admit, I can't play more than 3 before I'm like, oh, I've had enough of this. But that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, Mito is going to have to take a lot of time to kill this fort as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Ace is he was in a really poor spot, and now he's in a not so poor spot. Yeah. And he's fishing behind us. So.
Yeah, he's added in the 2 docks there. Or 3 docks even. Wow, he's going to start pumping out these boats. He has sent schooners, yep, I was going to say.
He has sent schooners, and he has research skill nets. So.
I think I really like that play at this point. You know, the food's starting to run out. Adding in the boats now is actually really nice, of course, in this later period of the game. I mean, the Dutch economy is so good on land because of banks that you really wouldn't consider, you wouldn't consider fishing all that much over perhaps doing something land-based in that early portion of the game. But this is really, really nice.
Yeah.
But look at that army.
Yeah, Mito's army is really scary, and now Ace's
is by no means, it's not a small army.
It's just really out of position.
It's on the other side of the map. At this point, he has got Swiss pikemen in there. Huge amount of siege, right? Does he just go straight for his opponent's town?
Well, I'm concerned with why he's running the long way around. I mean, he's trying to work his way around those floats, but he probably should have just gone straight for a base trade here and just tried to run away and just leverage the water into some sort of advantage, because I don't think he's going to be able to kill this army back at home. He's actually going to lose a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, that doesn't look too good. Of course, calling the Minutemen there. Those cavalry getting a really nice surround on those skirmishes. Going to do lots of damage there. Really doesn't have the Reuters or any other form of anti-cavalry to protect his skirmishes against these hussars. He does, however, pop out just in time. Well, no, a little bit late. Some more Reuters to help defend there. But ultimately, you look at the sheer amount of skirmishes. Oh, some halberdiers coming out as well. Pretty interesting, actually. They're not usually seen very much. But the point is, Mito's army is absolutely huge, and Aizamk's army is on the other side of the map, though it is causing his opponents some problems. Swiss pikemen definitely do have a lot of siege.
Uh-oh, we got Roosler's Liquid Garden.
Oh, it's going down. Roosler's Liquid Garden. There it is. We're going to see some mercenaries. I don't know why. I think we've sort of been habituated into thinking that saloons are just exciting. I think the last time we saw a saloon was that was a rather interesting game. But the town center does go down. All the villagers preemptively trying to get out there and try and get away. Where is he going to send them to? He could try and get them on the coast and then garrison them in a fishing ship and then get out. But he's going to lose those. Not so good. But hopefully he will be rewarded by killing his opponent's town center. Highlanders coming out.
It's like exactly what he needs to bail him out of this situation.
It does. Yeah, the Highland is going to be quite strong against, obviously, the Swiss pikemen. They're going to deal with the cavalry, and there aren't really that many skirmishes to punish them.
Yeah, he's going to be fine, and he's killing so many villas back here at the same time.
Yeah,
like,
I think
so many villas.
A's just thought, you know, I'm closer to his base, so he can kill my town center, and maybe I can escape my villages. So I'll kill his town center and get his villages much in the same way. But actually, Mito managing to escape his villages quite nicely, as you can see. He has found his hunt. That is where he's at now, down in... Oh, he's found that hunt I was questioning.
I really wish A's would have done this a long time ago, this base race. Like, he had his army, like, in a position, like, right here. Yeah, and then he walked it, like, all the way around back up here.
As if he was going home.
As if he was going to go back, and then he, like, made the decision, oh, I can't get back in time to fight that army. I might as well just base race. And then he walked all the back long way. And if he would have just started, like, running that distance to start with, like, he probably could have, like, sieged down the TC and, like, maybe stop the bleeding a little bit. And
of course, you know, what was it? The Roosler's Liquid Garden would not have been up if he'd gone in sooner, and there would have been no Highlanders to come out. He may have been able to get the surround on the TC and get the villagers inside it and then just destroy everything. He did have Swiss pikemen. We have to point that out. Those things rip through buildings so much faster than a massive skirms could, which is exactly what Mito has. He's not happy with it. There it is. He calls the GG. Mito taking his third win. Aizamk also on 3 wins, I believe. The score is 3-3. Guys, we're going into my very first game number 7 for Saturday Smackdown with me and Zuta.
Yep, it's happening.
It's happening.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think...
And you know what that means? We get to play a game on Great Plains.
Great Plains. Wow.